So you all come in for some poetry, so I better do a bit, eh? I'm planning 3 sets, and I'll have a little break in between, a bit of dress ups, a bit of whatever. I don't know what's coming, I've no idea. We never played before, so it's just from the heart, whatever you feel. It's about the energy, which you guys have already started to build. Really nice. So I'm going to start with Pete's poem. Some of you may have heard it. It's a tiny insight into me, but not much. But hopefully as night unfolds, you might see a little bit deeper. So we'll kick it off with Pete's poem. Yay. And feel free to join, guys. Here we go. Held transfixed within each other's stare, they did not know nor did they care if the attention of those around they caught. They were in love, or so they thought. Embracing lovers arm in arm, the world around could do no harm. To all its dangers they were immune. Aphrodite's harp was playing their tune. Now at last they felt complete, destiny they were ready to meet. Any failings alone they had, their powers combined need not be sad. What lay ahead was fresh and new, holding hands as lovers do. They talked of houses, kids and cars, certain in life they would go far. They planned their future in great detail, their powers combined, they could not fail. Inseparable were they side by side, to the world their love they could not hide. Invitations they were made, banquet tables they were laid, and in front of the chosen few they came together to say, I do. Off they flew to be alone, no work, no debts, no bloody foam. But alas, all too soon came the end of their honeymoon. Home they flew to start their life as blissfully happy husband and wife. Back to their careers they did check in, complete with their contented grin. They worked so hard but did not moan, they would not be happy till they had a home. Towards their dream they did not falter, and in time they bought their bricks and mortar. Perhaps now their time to work had passed, they could live their dream at last. But still it seemed something was missing, so they procured a dog and kitten. And for a while all was grand, they had their home, they had their land, they had their dog, they had their cat. But strangely still, their life fell flat. It seemed so obvious when on them it dawned, why this hole in their life yawned. 2 kids in their life, that's what's needed, they simultaneously conceded. They set about their allotted task, with enthusiasm they could not mask, and in time along they came, 2 perfect angels to take the family name. The joy, the bliss, what miracles! One was perfect, one had balls. They paraded them for all to see, were they not the perfect family? Somebody got it. I suppose he thought I should get back to work. Responsibility had no wish to shirk. With all these extra mouths to feed, was out of necessity and not of greed. With only one salary coming in, they had to spread their money thin, for there were not enough hours in the day to work and earn required pay. When working late, he would phone to say goodnight to kids at home. missed my mind. When working late, he would get home. His darling wife didn't help but moan of overdue accounts and mounting debt, about screaming kids and an unpaid vet. He didn't know if it was a lack of sleep, but at night he'd hear her weep. To hear this sound, it broke his heart. Why did no one warn him at the start? He'd work his body as hard as he dare, but still they had no money spare. This was not how to be, it was meant, when on life's journey they were sent. She said, I need a new car to take the kids to school, as in the old one, I feel a fool. He said, this game, it is not good, trying to keep up with the neighbourhood. Oddly at work, he felt like a drone, without the love at home he'd once known. Instead of planning family weekends, he'd get on the piss in the pub with friends. While laying awake at night in bed, much was thought, but little said. How they'd arrived at this place, two strangers laying face to face. In the mornings they often fought, how to play mums and dads, unwittingly the kids they taught. At least she could shop online to amass nice things to buy some happiness. The cost involved, he'd never know, the bank statement she'd never show. At least it was still good for one thing, to keep her in gin, fine clothes and bling. For peace and quiet he'd sit in his shed, in his hands he'd cup his head, for he really didn't know what to do to get out of this crazy man-made zoo. So what had happened to his life's plans of making love and holding hands, of making beautiful things in wood, of helping others for a common good? While working late, he would phone to say goodnight to kids at home. In his sorrow he'd turn to drink. He could do no harm, or so he'd think. One drink would lead to many more. Couldn't get the bloody key in the bloody door. At least in his statement he'd pretend to be her lover, now barely friend. At the office party, his pain to drown, he kept pouring more grog down. Through big oars he did spy a pretty blonde through the corner of his eye. In his drunken state she did possess all the virtues of womanliness, slim of waist and round of hip, great big knockers busting and a straining zip. Though in the Bible it does forbid, between the sheets that night they slid, and with sore head at break of day, oh shit, he realised he'd gone astray. Knowing office gossip, he had no doubt his poor wife she would found out. To speak the truth, he thought it best. When she got home, she'd already guessed. He tried to explain his foolish act, both with sorrow and with tact. But it did not matter what he said, he knew love between them now was dead. She said, I'm not angry, I'm just numb, then moved with kids back to her mum. She took all that she held most dear, not out of need, but out of fear. For without all her nice things around, she was sure happiness could not be found. And in this act he saw a clue, and I'm hoping that you see it too. For love of possessions and of wealth cannot compare to love of self. With his love gone, he felt incomplete. He could not cook, he did not eat. The washing pile it would grow, the holes in his socks he could not sew. So what had happened to the person he once knew, who anything his mind he could put to? Too dependent on her he had become. She was his lover, not his mum. This could be construed a warning tale for those that think they cannot fail. But I send a message not of doom but hope for those starting down that slippery slope. At the beginning I suggest you start by finding love within your heart. And when it's done you will find peace ascends your troubled mind. And when at last you are complete, God will arrange your love to meet. Not to bring your dreams to fruition, but for you to love without condition. home, I like jam. I've got a pair of shit-coloured glasses. I've been wearing them for far too long. I've got a pair of shit-coloured glasses. Though I take them off, the world looks wrong. Along this road I blindly marched, the earth was dry, the mouth was parched. On my knees close to the end, must on round one final bend. Beneath a tree, to my surprise, a girl with pink upon her eyes. Oh, I like your glasses, Rose, how I'd like a pair of those. She then said, oh, please take mine. I take them off, the world looks fine. I look up, the sun shines bright, the birds will sing to my delight. And so I took her glasses, Rose, and placed them on my doubting nose. I looked down, the girl was gone, and in her place the bright light shone. It pierced my soul, burned deep inside, it touched my heart, it opened wide. I see love in this world that I didn't see before. I don't need her glasses anymore. How are we doing so far, alright?
Excellent.
Still got your attention?
Yeah.
The publisher's gone, that's not a good sign.
Have another drink, it always comes
Wait,
out.
one more.
Thanks, God. Here we go.
Glasses, people.
It's great.
Alright.
This is called When. I think it's a poem, not sure.
If anyone else wants to play, feel
Yeah,
free.
join in, guys.
Yeah.
Let's crank it up. When you have amassed everything you need to be happy, be warned. For when you have nothing, you have everything you need. When lost, keep on looking. When found, never stop showing. When there is need, give freely. When there is abundance, spend wisely. When happy, spread love around. When sad, complete the circle. When loved, love. When hated, love more. When wealthy, give freely, feel the pleasure in giving. When poor, receive graciously, so others may feel the pleasure in giving. When all is well, be happy. When all is not well, be changed. When there is feast, share all you know. Share all you have with all you know. When there is famine, share all you know with all you have. When there is sickness, tend the needy. When there is health, tend the soul. When you're in hell, give thanks for lessons. When in heaven, give thanks for lessons learned. When living, live with God, be thankful. When dying, be with God, be free. This is one from my old hometown. It's called Tall Poppy. Tall Poppy, small town, no mind. It's tough, live with ignorance you'll find. They wish to hack away your roots because you have bare feet and they their boots. Intent on cutting you down to dislodge your imagined crown. You may choose to walk away, flight to love another day. Better to rise above and move beyond, unleash the power of your magic wand. Better than judging to forgive, and change the world in which you live, where body heals and spirit frees, and all you know are tall poppies. all a bit random tonight, but what do you do? Here's one from the kids that aren't here tonight. Yeah. For those that were and could be still, so deep for you, my love, I cannot say in words, and deeper still. So proud of you, I cannot say. And should you feel in time to come, it's time to heal this hurt, this void you feel. I am here, have always been. Our family tree so strong, or could be yet. Forget what's been, what's been said. My head was not right then, but it is now, and now is all we have. The time will come, time to forgive, then live in love, as was my aim. The time will come to drop the pain and see it then as lessons all. I will be here for you, that is my vow. I am here now. I'll keep going, eh? Have a go. Go. It's music, I've got no idea.
That's yours, isn't it?
Like it, yeah. Anyway, excuse me guys, keep talking amongst yourselves. That's the trouble with musicians, I Right, I'm back. The musicians are happy. So you heard Pete's poem. It's a very abstract version of my life. This is actually a better version. It's called Sid the Snake, if I can find it.
Or else you can plug it into here if you want.
Here we go. I'll go anyway. Sid slid and sliding, tumbled to the ground. Long and scaly, silvered around. He dreamt as a child of a day soon to come when he'd take to fly down to the sun. I think I've lost the name. I keep going? Yeah. The animals of the jungle, what fun they would make. You're down and low, you are just a snake. Sid said to himself and others that asked, I think I'm a bird, and they laughed and they laughed. As he got older, bumps did appear. He hid in the shadows in shame and in fear. He had no wish, others' attention to seek. They mocked and assured him, you are such a freak. He spoke to a friend and he then admitted he had it the same and he felt it not fitted. So, Sid said, so what did you do? Oh, I just hide it away out of view. I went to a doctor, he gave me a pill and he said, you poor boy, alas, you are ill. In a matter of days, perhaps even a week, my head hurt, but body was slender and sleek. Cunning as a snake, Sid knew what to do. He found him a cave and hid there from view. For days and for months, Sid hid from the rest at barrister bumps on his sideways and chest. He didn't want pills, didn't want to be seen, as he became blotchy and scaly and green. He coughed and spluttered, twisted and turned. To be like others normal was the life that he yearned. Summer came winter and then into spring. His bumps turned to legs, and you guessed it, wings. He found in the cave others as was he that accepted and loved him as his own family. Happy at last, the time passed on by, he learned how to walk, run and then fly. I thought this snake, but those times now long past. Yahoo, I'm a dragon, my dream to at last. He flew to the sun, oh what wonders he saw, across deep blue oceans and magical shore. As he travelled, he looked back from his past. He wondered what had come from his mates and his class. He flew back to the jungle, his friends shivered and shaked. He said, don't be frightened, it's me, Sid the Snake. O wise dragon, please teach us of your magical world, so our children's wings might yet be unfurled. Such a nice dragon, he went off to school, the place back in time when he felt such a fool. But alas, when he got there, down on the ground, The door was too small and of course it was round. He put his mouth through the hole and with no wish to scold, "I can't fit through this hole," he carefully called. The teacher slid out and thoughtfully hissed, "What might we do to help and assist? A new door is what's needed to let me on through." So they cut him a square one, as they'd seen humans do. But that was no use. He was not round or square, but the shape of a dragon. That was now quite clear. This time they were cut right and the dragon stepped in. The kids all applauded and made such a din. He spoke of the flying and places he'd been, of others he'd met and wonders he'd seen. When he'd finished speaking from the back of the class, a shy snake came forward and this question asked, "I've had these wings and I've got these bumps. Could they be wings or are they just mumps?" From that day forward and forever on by, snakes were just dragons who are told they can't fly. So if you have a dream, it will come true, as long as you don't try to be as others do. There's a door that's your shape out there waiting for you, and wonders await should you step on through. I'll keep going from my children's book,
And that's what you started with doing too, wasn't it, Pete? That was like one of your first publications as well.
Yeah, it's a kid's book, yeah. I'm about to republish, but we're published at home, so what do you think? I don't know, I'm a small. Thanks guys for being here, it's nice.
Yeah.
Much friends, really nice.
Thanks for putting it on, Pete.
Nice to be home. I'm a smile of face. I've been lost for a while in the human race. I was the smile of a boy. A great big smile for his favourite toy. But the toy got broke and I went away till he found something bigger and better to play. The boy got a bike as fast as could be. Then I came back and he giggled with glee. He saw it in a car and wanted one now, not thinking he'd have to pay somehow. The boy got a girl and I came back. Now he would get his life on track. He got in a house, a boat and a dream. It was all coming true, or so it would seem. But bit by bit I faded away as he worked longer and harder each day. He thought of the past and started to miss his freedom of youth, oblivious bliss. So he splashed in the river and played in some mud and made as much mess as he possibly could. He built a treehouse deep in the wood, and now I'm stuck in his face for good. We'll keep going with the kids' book, eh? Doesn't seem to go anywhere too bad.
I want to hear it. Like,
This is one I wrote for property developers around the place that like to take ownership of land and mess it all up.
So you had a moody order.
The Tale of 10 Farmers. There were 10 farmers who each had a field, same size and shape and place and yield. They were all getting tired and grumpy and old and decided one day they wanted them sold. So they called up a man and found out the worth of their flat and square and green piece of earth. The man came along and gave them a price. Now tidy them up was his best advice. So the diggers were asked and duggers were told and looked forward to the day when soon they'd be sold. They put up the signs and cut all the straw, put ads in the papers and billboards and more. In no time at all, so many came, but they were confused. They all looked the same. Oh bother, oh flip, which should we buy? There's no one really catches our eye. Farmer Bill was a bit smarter than the rest and wished his land to look the best. So he planted a flower and that night it grew. The very next day, other farmers did too. So builded till and builded tall and planted seeds all through his soil. The others were now wise to his scheme. In no time at all they mimicked his thing. And once again poor Bill's plan had failed. So one night he bought windows and doors and nails and wood and glass and screws and glue and some tea bags and biscuits of course. And he nailed and nailed and nailed. And the farmers all woke the very next day. No, when the farmers awoke from counting the sheep, there was a town and they started to weep. And they wailed and wailed and wailed. But once the tears had stopped the flow, they all bought a hammer and started to grow a city. What a pity. Once again the people drove by for a piece of land to live and then die. But they all looked so drab and all the same way, and all the people decided not to pay. Bill tossed and turned and sighed and cried, and sadly still he couldn't decide what to do. Then one night as he lay in his bed, a little thought popped into his head. He jumped up excited straight away, and when the others awoke the very next day, they saw a stick with a sold sign sitting on Bill's land. How grand. So what do you think Bill's cunning plan might have been? He tore down the buildings and concrete too, and in its place, one flower now grew. I'll stop when you start walking out on me.
Can I walk? I don't mean to walk out, but do this. I just want to get.
Oh, yeah.
You have to go.
We'll have a little break, I think. Natural break. Thank you guys. Love to meet you. Watching the camera.
Nice to see you.